readers. My name is Dawn Hughes, and I'm the coordinator for Booktrib's book club program. I'm here today with author Poorva Joshipura to talk about her fascinating and important book, Survival at Stake. We're so thrilled to have Survival at Stake as one of the selections available in Booktrib's book club program for January. Thanks so much for taking a few minutes out of your schedule to talk to us, Poorva.
Oh, thanks, Dawn, for having me. I'm so excited that you're including my book, and I can't wait to hear what your readers think of it.
We can't either. It just sounds so fascinating. And I know we only have 5 minutes, so I really want to just dive in. No spoilers, but what can you share about the book that we wouldn't find on the jacket cover?
Okay, well, I start the book out by reminding readers that we are animals too. And that's, before I describe how our treatment of animals is linked to the key crises affecting us today, like pandemics and epidemics, climate catastrophe, pollution, antibiotic resistance, and so on, which you will find on the cover of the book. But, today, ethologists confirm many resemblances of humans to animals, from whales to even invertebrate creatures like bees. They describe these animals as sentient, intelligent beings who express emotional states. For instance, bees appear to dream. They even seem to experience something like post-traumatic stress disorder in response to facing a dangerous situation. It seems that they play. Chickens are clever and cunning. Pigs can be taught to play video games. Fish form friendships. The list goes on. So with so many similarities between humans and animals, that's what I try to help people understand and establish. It should perhaps be no surprise or less surprise that the well-being of animals, other animals, is intertwined with our own, and that diseases and other conditions that affect them impact us too.
That makes a ton of sense. And I really want readers to go on the website and read more about you, and I didn't prep you for this question, but what led you down this path? Like, your extensive background in sort of this area obviously was a catalyst, but why go this route? Why?
Well, so I've been working in animal protection for the past 25 years. Yeah. And through this time, people often say, when I say that I help animals, they say, well, shouldn't we solve human problems first? A lot of people say this. Yeah. And with every question, I realize they don't realize that animal rights is human rights. Right. Animal rights is environmental protection. And so I wanted to have a resource, this book, that takes readers through how our treatment of animals for food, for clothing, for experimentation, for entertainment, various other uses, what we do to them comes back to us, and often comes back to bite us. And so I wanted people to have a tool through which they can see the connection and not see these things as so distinct, because they're not. Right.
That makes a lot of sense. It obviously seems obvious too that your book would have so many great themes and issues behind it. But curious, why do you think it would make such a great book club selection?
Well, I'm a writer because I'm an activist, and I want to equip readers with information to allow them to consider animal and earth-friendly choices. And with so many of the issues I cover in the book, they are urgent. We have limited time to effectively change our current damaging course. So I hope, of course, that the book will influence the decisions of policymakers and corporate CEOs, but really governments and industries are made up of individuals. And so the book is for individuals. And the final chapter of the book is dedicated to ideas on what individuals from all walks of life can do to help animals and thereby help themselves. And the simplest and most important action of which is really treating animals the way we would like to be treated ourselves.
That makes so much sense. Do you have a favorite animal?
Oh, people ask me this, and I feel like I say something different every single time. Maybe rats, because they giggle. They giggle like us when they're tickled. So maybe them. They seem to have a lot of fun.
That's fascinating to me. I live in a rat-free province. Alberta is the only province in Canada that does not have any rats.
Oh, really? Oh, you're missing out.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I'll trust you.
No, but they're it's amazing what we can learn about animals when we remove them from the settings we put them in. So, we're used to seeing rats, for example, in a laboratory setting, or we're used to seeing chickens in a kind of factory farm setting. And it's amazing when you take them out of those settings, you actually see their personalities come to life. So I work with a sanctuary in India, where I currently am on project. And we've rescued over 160 rats and mice from a laboratory.
Wow.
And we've taken them to the sanctuary and where they can be who they want to be. And it's amazing to see these little beings. They're not just test tubes, and they're not just, equipment, laboratory equipment. They actually have personalities. You have the shy one and the bold one and so on, just like human beings. So I guess they've been on our mind. So in answer to your question, rats.
Interesting. Now I really can't wait to read your book. We're gonna veer off of your book for this last question, just because we're building our TBRs for January. What's the best book, fiction or nonfiction, that you read in the last year, and why?
So I have to admit, so much of the last year was about reading books related to subjects I ended up writing about in my book. And among those was Death of a Whale by Captain Paul Watson. He founded the marine animal protection group Sea Shepherd. So I mention it in my book too, as there is a moving passage in which he describes watching a whale be killed. And he was with the late co-founder of Greenpeace, Robert Hunter, when that happened. They had gone out on a little Zodiac boat. And whales are tremendous carbon stores. They greatly outdo trees, which is why it makes sense to protect them, not only from an animal protection point of view, but also environmental protection. So it was the moment that, him seeing this whale be killed was the moment that led him to commit to what he says is a lifelong service to citizens of the sea. And this happened in 1975. And back then, animal protection was a radical concept. So now, just a few decades on from then, it's a necessity and it's a crisis. So I just thought that was a poignant passage, but the book itself is quite a read.
Fascinating. I'm definitely adding that to my list too. I feel like I've said fascinating 20 times, but I truly am fascinated by your book and by the research and by you. So I hate to wrap this up, but I know I have to. So I thank you very much for your time again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. For more information about Poorva's book, please check out the book club page on the booktrib.com website. Thank you.